Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe, Igniting History. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to our page. This week we are doing a request for my buddy Clint. You guys are probably wondering why there is a dog on the front page of a Navy SEAL episode. Well, that's our buddy Thor. He's our dog, and I felt that he needed a little love. He is a Bernese Mountain Dog, and he is awesome. So, moving right along, we're going to talk about the Navy SEALs, or the Frogmen of the Navy. This was requested by my buddy Clint Talley. He is a veteran of the U.S. Navy. He was on the USS Eisenhower during his time. He's a good guy. He's also a rock star, or so he thinks he is. He has a band here in Kentuckiana called Enemy of None. I highly recommend you guys check him out. I think you would enjoy it. So, Clint, thanks for the advice, and let's get to it. So, we're going to talk about the Frogmen of the Navy, the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs are named for the environments in which they operate: sea, air, and land. They are a foundation of naval special warfare combat forces. They are organized, trained, and equipped to conduct a variety of special operations in all kinds of different environments. These guys, today's SEALs, can trace their history from the elite frogmen of World War II, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Their training is extremely difficult. I've seen multiple documentaries on their training out there in Catalina and California, and Hell Week and everything that it takes to be a SEAL. They show part of that in the movie The American Sniper about Chris Kyle. So I highly recommend you check it out. Do a little bit of research on them. These guys are the bad of the bad. The United States has the greatest military fighting force that the world's ever seen. And within that military, you've got elite units, such as the Green Berets and the, Army Rangers and the Navy SEALs. These guys take their commitment to protecting our country very seriously. So thankfully, they're on our side. So the SEALs, or Frogmen, basically got their start because there was a need for beach reconnaissance forces. Guys who could go onto beachheads, do reconnaissance, report back, clear ways, help out landing parties, basically a support group. They were selected from the Army and the Navy personnel, at first assembled at Little Creek at an amphibious training base in August of 1942, and that would begin the Amphibious Scouts and Raiders joint training. Now, the Scouts and the Raiders' mission was to identify the objective beach, maintain a position on that beach, designate on the designated beach prior to landing, and then they would guide the assault waves to the landing beaches. Okay, so these guys were like the front line, right? The tip of the spear. The first group included Phil H. Bucklew, and he is designated as the father of naval special warfare, after whom the Naval Special Warfare Center building is named. These guys were commissioned in October of 1942, and they saw their first combat in November of 42 during Operation Torch, the first Allied landings in Europe and on North African coast. The Scouts and Raiders also supported landings in Sicily, Salerno, Anzio, Normandy, and southern France. So wherever we were invading and taking over, these guys were there with us. On June 6, 1943, exactly 1 year before D-Day, Lieutenant Commander Kaufman established Naval Combat Demolition Unit training at Fort Pierce. Now, by April of 1944, a total of 34, we'll call them NCDUs, were deployed to England in preparation for Operation Overlord. Now, Operation Overlord was the code name for the landings in France on D-Day. Okay, Omaha Beach, Utah Beach, and etc. Now, these guys started training in November of 43 at Camp Pendleton. They moved to Catalina Island in January of 44 and finally moved to warmer waters in the Bahamas in March of 1944. Within the U.S. military, they pioneered flexible swim fins and face masks, closed-circuit diving equipment, the use of swimmers' submersibles, and combat swimming and mine attacks. So these guys were already perfecting their cool Naval SEAL skills. So they're getting ready for it. Of course, June 6, 1944 rolls around, D-Day. These guys, the NCDUs, in the face of great adversity and tremendous firepower from the enemy, at Omaha Beach, they managed to blow 8 complete gaps and 2 partial gaps into the German defenses. The NCDUs, they suffered 31 killed and 60 wounded, and that's about a casualty rate for them at that point with 52%. However, the NCDUs at Utah Beach, same area, just a different beach, they didn't meet with as much enemy resistance as the guys at Omaha. They cleared about 700 yards of beach in 2 hours and another 900 by the afternoon. Now, the casualties at Utah Beach were significantly lighter, with 6 killed and 11 wounded. During Operation Overlord, not a single demolitioner was killed by improper handling of explosives. So basically, what that means, they didn't blow themselves up, which is, I would imagine, a priority. The special boat units also can trace their history back to World War II. The patrol coastal and patrol boat torpedo are all ancestors of today's PC and MKV. Motor torpedo boats, as a matter of fact, squadrons. Motor torpedo boat Squadron 3, rescued General MacArthur and later the Filipino president from the Philippines after the Japanese had invaded, and then participated. And then that boat unit participated in guerrilla actions until the American resistance ended with the fall of Corridor. PT boats subsequently participated in the most of the campaigns in the Southwest Pacific by conducting and supporting joint combined reconnaissance, blockade, sabotage, and raiding missions, as well as attacking Japanese shore facilities, shipping and combatants as well. PT boats were used in the European theater also, so not just in the Pacific where all the water was. You did see them in the European theater beginning in April of 44, right prior to D-Day. They support the OSS in the insertions of spies and French resistance personnel to help with the preparation for D-Day. So that's pretty cool. Now, following World War II, this was a response to President Kennedy, his desire for the services to develop unconventional warfare capability. The U.S. Navy established SEAL Team 1 and 2 in January of 1962, and these guys were formed entirely of personnel from underwater demolition teams. The SEALs' mission was to conduct counter-guerrilla warfare and clandestine operations in maritime and riverine environments. So basically, they were to operate in oceans and rivers. They again saw combat in Vietnam while supporting amphibious ready groups. When they were attached to the river groups, the UDTs conducted operations with river patrol boats, and a lot of times they patrolled into the hinterland as well as along the riverbanks, beaches, in order to destroy obstacles and bunkers for the soldiers. These guys would also act as advisors to the supporting platoons. May 1st, 1983, all UDTs were redesignated as SEAL teams or swimmer delivery vehicle teams. And then since then, those swimmer delivery vehicle teams, SDVTs, have since all been redesignated SEAL delivery vehicle teams. Sorry, military's got a lot of words and abbreviations for a lot of stuff. So, the Navy SEALs have had a long history within our military. They supported most of our major operations. They've been in every one of our wars since World War II. These were the guys who, killed bin Laden. These were the guys that killed the pirates in that movie Captain Phillips with Tom Hanks, where the Somali pirates had taken over the tanker, and he had gotten into that pod, and there was the two Somali pirates were with them, and they had to shoot them exactly at the same time, and those SEALs laid on that deck of that ship for hours waiting for the exact right moment. So these guys are the elite of the elite, the best of the best. Let's thank them for their service and their sacrifice, just like any other U.S. military member and or veteran. So tell your friends about us. Again, thank you, Clint, for the advice and the tip. Please subscribe to our page and follow us. We've got some polls up there for the next videos. Berlin Wall and American flags. Some people have asked about the Romanovs and things like that. So tell your friends about us again. Thanks, and we'll see you all later.